Andrew, I don't think we need to record from now. I think we can start recording when we have enough people.
You just said anything?
I said it, we don't have to start a record.
Now? Okay.
We can do it once. So I think out of respect to those who came on time, I think we should start. So hello, everyone. My name is OctNov2024. I'm heading the Israeli Economic Mission in Hong Kong. Together with me, we have our teams in Taiwan. We have Aviv and Kaitin. And we have from Singapore office, we have Noah and Jonathan. And of course, from Hong Kong, we have Andrew. So we wanted to talk to you about our plans to have a mutual or collaborated delegation between Hong Kong, Taiwan, and Singapore in the upcoming October, November. And we're going to share a bit of information about what we are planning to have during this 1.5 week. And then we'll open it up for questions. Feel free to ask everything you want to know, prices, what to expect. And this is why we decided to have it as a meeting format, so everyone would be able to hear the question. Later, if you have more specific questions regarding your own company in different markets, then you can contact each of us, and we'll put our emails in the chat box in a few minutes. So general information, we're talking about, again, 3 major cities, major hubs in terms of fintech. Hong Kong Fintech Week is 28th and 29th of October. Fintech Taipei, 1st and 2nd of November. And Singapore Fintech Festival is 6th till 8th of November. Who are you going to meet? So in all 3 places, the event attract financial institutions, of course, the banks, insurance companies, fintech associations. It can be government bodies. In Hong Kong, it's the Hong Kong Monetary Authority. In Singapore and in Taiwan, they have their own equivalent bodies, the stock exchange, investors from different areas. So those are the people that you should expect meeting in those events. We're talking about companies that are in the fintech sector that are targeting the APAC region. Okay, either they have some presence already, or they're considering increasing their participation or having customers in the near future in the APAC region. Okay, we'll talk a bit in a minute. All the trade officer will share a bit more about the event themselves, but you'll see that there is some uniqueness to each of those events. But all in all, if we're talking about having some presence, different form of presence in the Asia Pacific, I think it's a good start for fintech companies. We normally talking about mature companies. So if you already have some sales, I think you're relevant to the Asian market. If you're very early stage, then again, I think we should have a one-on-one call to assess the relevancy of those events to you. Okay, normally I would say the fintech sector in general, the finance sector in general would be more traditional. And I would say that in Asia, they would be even more traditional than the usual. So this is why we're targeting mature fintech companies that are looking to engage with the APAC region. So as I said, we're starting on the 28th of October with the main exhibition. Okay, I mentioned this is the Hong Kong Fintech Week. So it's a whole week, but there are two main days, main exhibition days. So it's the 28th and 29th of October. Then we're planning to have a day in Hong Kong that will probably visit some of the local financial institutions. On 31st of October, you'll travel to Taiwan, and then you have the 2 days of the event in Taipei. Then we have the weekend, and Taiwan team already prepare for you or have plans to prepare some visits to, again, local financial institutions. Then you'll travel to Singapore. You'll spend there 3 days in the exhibition, and then you're about to go back to Israel or anything else in your plans. So I mentioned just earlier about the team. So myself and Andrew, we are from Hong Kong. We have Aviv and Kaitin from Taiwan, and we have Noah and Jonathan from Singapore office. I'll give the floor to Andrew to talk about what we are planning to do in Hong Kong. So Andrew, the floor is yours.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Andrew, and I'm in charge of fintech sector in Hong Kong. So I will briefly introduce Hong Kong's fintech sector and the Hong Kong Fintech Week, the event itself. And please feel free to ask any questions. So Hong Kong consistently secures its position among the top 4 global financial centers, and for good reason. The city boasts an unparalleled concentration of financial institutions, like 78 of the world's top 100 banks have a presence here, with 29 multinational banks, including like HSBC, Citi, Standard Chartered, Bank of East Asia, Bank of China, Hong Kong, are choosing Hong Kong as their regional headquarters. Not just the banking, leading insurance companies like AIA, Manulife, and AXA also recognize Hong Kong's importance and establishing their regional headquarters here. Also, the Hong Kong government is equally committed to fostering a thriving fintech ecosystem, recognizing fintech as a key driver of future economic growth. So the government has implemented various initiatives to encourage financial institutions to embrace fintech innovation. For example, the Hong Kong Monetary Authority has a Fintech 2025 strategy to aim to ensure that all banks in Hong Kong will fully adopt fintech solution and to nurture a skilled fintech workforce. Furthermore, the Financial Service and the Treasury Bureau have launched programs like the Proof of Concept Subsidiary Scheme, specifically designed to foster collaboration between dynamic fintech startups and the established financial institutions. A testament to Hong Kong's commitment to fintech is the Hong Kong Fintech Week. It's one of the most influential fintech events in the Asia-Pacific region, and each year the chief executive of Hong Kong will deliver the opening remarks, highlighting the importance of this event. Hong Kong Fintech Week attracts a high caliber audience. So last year, 40% of attendees were from the banking sector, while the digital assets and crypto space represented 20% of the participants. And importantly, Hong Kong Fintech Week attracts key decision makers, with approximately 60% of the attendees being the C-level executives or the department heads. So in conclusion, the strong traditional financial sector is rapidly adopting fintech in Hong Kong and creating a huge business potential. So hope to see you all joining our booth this year and be part of the success.
Thank you, Andrew. Now, Kaitin from Taiwan.
Hi, everyone. So my name is Kaiting. I'm the trade officer in charge of fintech and several other sectors in Taipei. I've been serving in this position for almost 7 years. And basically, the fintech sector has been in charge by me for the last 5 years since we have pretty much established this sector in Taipei. So a little bit about Taiwan. Taiwan has a very strong capital market, especially in this year, due to some different kinds of political or geopolitical development here in Taiwan. So now the capital market is very, very vibrant. And the regulator here is called Financial Supervisory Commission. They are putting a lot of efforts on promoting fintech in order to support the entire financial sector and also the demand on the wealth management as well. And our office share a very close relationship with Financial Supervisory Commission by holding multiple events with FSC and also their other partners. And another thing is worth to be mentioned that FSC has signed an MOU with Israel Securities Authority in 2022. This would be a very huge symbol that shows that the Taiwanese government, the regulator, and also the industry is having high interest regarding Israeli fintech technologies. For the past few years, our office has also initiated a few fintech events, including large delegation visiting Israel since 2018. And we are also the only office that initiated fintech delegation to Israel right after COVID last 2022. And all of this leads to multiple chances for Israeli companies to develop their network here with the local financial holdings. And there are a few major focuses that we target for the demand of this market, including, like I mentioned, wealth management, cybersecurity, anti-fraud, insurtech, and any that's relevant to AI for digital transformation. Next page, please. So a little bit about Fintech Taipei. This year, it will be the 7th edition of Fintech Taipei. Our office has participated in Fintech Taipei for several times. And Fintech Taipei is a biennial mode of exhibition, meaning 1 year it will be forum and the other year will be forum plus exhibition. And this year in 2024, it will be an exhibition plus international forum. And we have been closely working with the organizer of Fintech Taipei, which is FSC, and underneath the execution parties would be Taiwan Academy of Banking and Finance, and also the Fintech Space, which has signed up an MOU with Israel Fintech Center last year. So we got sponsorship from Fintech Taipei, meaning that we will have 8 to 9 booths for free for Israeli companies to participate, including the booth and the booth design and also the service within Fintech Taipei. And for us, aside from just having Fintech Taipei as one of the anchor activities during this trip, like Enaf have mentioned regarding the design of the entire itinerary, we are planning to have several side events during this trip. For example, we will evaluate the features of these participants within the delegation to see what kind of other financial institutions that we will be paying visit. By paying this visit, we will request all of the participants to do pitching directly to the relevant departments or personnel or high-level executives regarding the technologies they are showcasing. So we are considering probably visiting several major financial holdings, including Bank of Taiwan, Cooperative Bank, CTIB, and CTBC. These are pretty much the largest financial holdings that pay attention to innovative technologies. And aside from that, we will also evaluate the chance to co-work on a networking session, more like a networking dinner with Bankers Association. All of these are still under discussion. So this is our part.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kai-Ting. Hi, everyone. I'm Josephine from Singapore, and I am the trade officer in charge of fintech sector here in Singapore. So very quickly about Singapore finance sector, the GDP in last year is 82 billion, which is very, very similar to Switzerland. In the Singapore market, it's very, for those that is not familiar with this part of the world, in Singapore, we are very driven top down. Usually it's the government that drive innovation, that drive investment. So it's usually top down. And the regulator for this is MAS, Monetary Authority of Singapore. And it's a centralized regulator, meaning to say that it regulates banks, payments, exchanges, insurance, and capital markets. So that's how the country kind of centralized and is very efficient in moving forward. Now, Singapore Fintech Festival, it's an initiative by MAS, and I think it's running in its 7th or 8th edition now. Throughout the years, it has positioned itself as a global flagship event, no longer just a regional event. It is a global event. If you go to the next slide, please, whereby there are 36 or more international pavilions, Japan, Korea, they are all exhibiting in this show, and people from all over the world will travel to Singapore and attend this. For our office, we had a Israel Pavilion in 2019 and 2022. It is very massive. It's 5 big halls. And we had several engagement with the Visa, the MasterCard and so on. And throughout the 3 days of FinTech festivals, there are different tracks to go to different innovation hub on your own or attendees. So it's a real festival. But it's just that I need to also to have a caveat, and I need to say upfront that it's a very busy week for everyone. Because the banks will be having their own booth, their own pavilion, they have their own meetings. So it will be a very busy week in Singapore in that period. Okay.
Thank you, Jonathan.
Welcome.
So maybe Aviv, you wanna?
Okay, so thank you all for joining us today, and thank you, Einav, Andrew, Kaiting, Jonathan, for your sharing. And I'd also like to welcome all the attendees that joined us today. So on behalf of the timeline, so we're right now in August, and we're still focusing on recruiting the company, doing exposition webinars and online activities in order to further promote this opportunity to Israeli fintech and fintech startups. We have the honor today to have Mr. Shmuel Ben Tovim from Israel Fintech Center, who's also assisting us with promoting this event as our partner. And throughout Shmuel and other channels, we are hoping to reach out to more and more Israeli companies who sees this opportunity as a relevant one and would like to join and participate. On September, we will continue our promotion efforts in the local market and start arranging the B2B meetings based on the company's features and the needs in each of our markets. And of course, also assist you with arranging the logistics and also the events logistics per se. And then overall, since in October, we have a lot of Jewish holidays, we will probably try our best to have everything arranged and executed before the Jewish New Year. And by the event itself on the 28th, where we start in Hong Kong, we already be executing and already formalizing the pre-scheduled B2B meetings, and of course on the spot, and from Hong Kong to Taiwan and then to Singapore. Next slide, please. This is the budget estimation that we see accordingly, that includes all the estimation for all 3 destinations based on, of course, price quotations that we took and we searched online. As per the participation in each location on behalf of each company. So the participation cost for Hong Kong would be $750. For Taipei, it is similar. And for Singapore, it will be 7,300. As you can see here, you have also some examples for flight fares and also for accommodation and miscellaneous fees. We have to stress out that each company will borne its own expenses, the flight fare, as well as the accommodation and other expenses as well. And we are able, of course, to share information regarding each territory and each city, where would be possible arrangements for accommodation, etc. So here you have it in a more clear structure. The registration and the payment will be conducted by Israel Export Institute, IEI, which you are familiar with. And the total package deal for all 3 destinations will be $7,900. And we are urging every Israeli company that sees this opportunity as relevant to have a massive exposure in the Asian fintech markets to come over to join us on board and travel to all 3 destinations. We see a very good opportunity here. And since the events are quite connected to each other, we see this opportunity that when you're coming into Asia, you should seize this and actually put all your efforts with all 3 destinations, which encapsulates various business opportunities for you in Hong Kong, in Taipei, and in Singapore. I think that will be the registration link for you to scan or to click on the link itself. We will share it, of course, later on. And I think enough here. At this point, I would like to open the floor for questions from the audience.
You can either do it in English or Hebrew, whatever feels more comfortable to you. So,
Shmuel, do you have anything to add on top?
First of all, good morning, good afternoon, everyone. Good to see you here. And thank you for this initiative. I think it's very, very important for the fintech industry to diversify its markets. And of course, many are already doing. I see here in the crowd some people who are already doing business in that part of the world. My only suggestion with discussions that I have with some people, I know I'm not sure, but there are some people who will be interested to join, but I would say as a study mission, not to exhibit in the events and not to go into the cost of hiring a space and printing the materials and so on. So if this is acceptable by the 3 economic missions, I would maybe add another type of quotation of joining the entire mission, of course, making the appointments and the events without exhibiting in either Hong Kong and Singapore. I think that may also reduce the cost in a bit and maybe create another incentive for more people to join.
Thank you, Shmuel. Well noted. But here, I think this is something that should be later on discussed. But the format here would be definitely for exhibition, as we also discussed with local partners here. But we noted, and we'll of course take it into consideration later on. Thank you.
So I think the floor is open to any questions. So if you want to open your microphone and your camera, and we try to keep it short, so to give all the information. Again, we put all our contact information in the chat, so you are welcome to reach out if you want to discuss in more particular about your own company. Okay, and we'll share the recording and the slides that we just showed to everyone registered, so you will be able to review it later and decide whatever you would be best for your company to do. We're looking forward to see all of you join the delegation in Hong Kong, Taipei, and Singapore. We do think it's very beneficial for any company, specifically fintech company, to join those dates. And if you're looking into APAC, I think it's a good opportunity. Again, thank you, Shmuel. Thank you, everyone, for joining. If we don't have any questions from the audience, so I think we'll keep it short as we can.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
So thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
Thank you very much.